Scott from Scott Shot Media. Today is Monday, January 18th, and this is what is happening on the mountain. Kind of a slow day today. It is a holiday for a lot of people, Martin Luther King Day. So, local, state, and federal governments are mostly closed. So, there is no Caltrans work scheduled for today. Highways look wide open for a holiday Monday morning. We do have some hazardous weather forecasted where we have a high wind watch going on now through tomorrow evening. We have snow possible tomorrow through Wednesday, and then another chance of a storm later on in the week. Um, Windy and dry conditions for the next couple of days will give us an increased fire danger until that snow or rain, depending on the elevation, hits us. And then because the winds will die down a little bit and we will have some new moisture on the ground, we'll be at a low fire risk for the remainder of the week. There were 11 crimes reported on the mountain since Friday. I'll post a map of where those occurred in case you saw some activity in your neighborhood. Right now, again, because it is a holiday, there are no scheduled maintenance outages from Edison, but Edison has turned off some power up and down Waterman Canyon from the bottom all the way into Top Town. So I'm not 100% sure if any mountaintop businesses or residents are without power right now. But if you are in the Crestline area and you're without power, it's because Edison shut off the power due to strong winds in the canyons and passes and in the foothills. And that should last through tomorrow. And of course, until the rain gets here, until the snow gets here, Edison has put out additional shutoff notifications that they're exploring the option of shutting off power to other parts of the mountain today and tomorrow. And lastly, were 92 new COVID cases reported over the weekend since Friday. That brings us to about 383 active cases on the mountain. So if you have a few minutes to stick around, we'll go into greater details in each of these topics, starting with our traffic. It is Monday morning light holiday. Monday morning light. So there is a little congestion in the Big Bear area and then coming up and down the 330. But other than that, there are no CHP incidents, no Caltrans projects scheduled, and things are going to look good, hopefully, for the rest of the day today. We can expect some increased downbound congestion as people return to their homes off the mountain. And we can expect possibly to see some chain control in effect tomorrow when the storm hits us. It shouldn't be a very strong storm, not a very cold storm. Still kind of up in the air when the exact timing hits, how low the snow level is, and what our total accumulation is. But right now, it's only about a 20 to 30% chance. So we'll keep you updated as that storm gets here. Again, not a super cold storm. In fact, it's not even supposed to be freezing at the lower elevations where there's just a 20% chance of snow and lows of 25, highs of 32, and the higher elevations with a 30% chance of snow tomorrow night through Wednesday, maybe even through Wednesday night. We'll have a break for a day, and then Friday we have another slight chance of some snow showers and rain showers at lower elevations and continuing through the weekend. Right now, we are under a high wind watch for Santa Ana condition, very dry, very strong winds down the hill. It's supposed to be a pretty significant wind event in the Inland Empire, in the passes, in the canyons, and in the foothills. We shouldn't see too much damaging wind up on the mountaintop, but driving can be challenging, especially going up and down the 18 towards San Bernardino. We have a lot of hazardous weather on our regional threat matrix, including major wind down the hill tomorrow, some minor wind today, some moderate wind on Wednesday, as well as on Friday. We have snow possible in the region Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and even into next week. And of course, some urban flooding even possible down below on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So pretty dynamic week ahead, so pay attention, and we'll update you as soon as we have more information about the timing of the storms, the strength of the storm, and certainly the effects of the storms. So, and in the Inland Empire, we have a very moderate wind event for the next 3 days for some moderate wind strength as well as moderate which gives us a moderate risk because of the humidity. And so not necessarily the case on the mountain. The wind should be not as strong up here, but we are expecting locally to see some gusts, maybe even into 30 miles an hour tomorrow, mid morning. Should die off by the evening. And then as soon as this next storm rolls in next week or later in the week on Friday, we can expect to see some additional winds, not as strong as they are going to be tomorrow. And then later, midweek, next week, we can actually see as the second storm moves out, it being replaced by another Santa Ana wind event. Hopefully, we'll get enough snow and moisture on the ground to keep our fire danger low. Right now, things are looking pretty decent on the mountaintop as it relates to fire. A couple of smoke checks, false alarms. However, this was an interesting call yesterday up in the burn area of the previous fire up here above Forest Falls. Even though there's snow on the ground, there was a smoldering hot spot left over from the El Dorado fire. So that's not uncommon. We can actually see these hot spots for months to come. But the good news is it was well within the burn, and it was completely covered in snow, so there was no threat. But whoever saw that called it in. Good job. We are still under very high fire danger on the mountain floor because of lack of precipitation. Hopefully we'll see this go down, but I don't imagine our next couple of storms are going to be strong enough to make a significant difference in our fire danger. For the next 2 days, we have a high risk triggers of dry and gusty winds in the region. So we are at probably a high risk until the storm gets here, a high risk of new fire starts and growth. And as soon as we get that moisture on the ground, we could see that risk diminish pretty significantly. For the foreseeable future, at least through April, we are at an average risk as far as our fire season goes, which is good news. We saw 11 crimes reported on the mountain since Friday, a couple of DUIs, a couple of burglaries, a couple of firearms and weapon charges. So some crimes pretty serious up on the mountain. I'll post this map, so if you saw some police activity in your neighborhood, you can see what was going on. There are no Edison outages, maintenance outages reported right now, but Edison has issued public safety shutoff notifications for various parts of the mountain, primarily coming up and down the 38 and up and down the 18, as well as the 330. These canyons and passes certainly are funnels for the strong gusty winds, and because of that, Edison actually has turned off power going up from San Bernardino all the way up into Crestline. So if you don't have power in the top town area, that's what's going on. Edison has shut off your power. I'm going to be driving down the 18 here after this, so I'll get some firsthand of what the power looks like, what the wind looks like, and then we might even do a live report if it's something significant. But for the other parts of the mountain, especially if you live in the Forest Falls area, if you live in the Waterman Canyon area and you lose power, that is what is going on. It's just to prevent a wildfire. Lastly, we have our daily COVID-19 update. Since Friday when we last reported it, over the weekend there were 92 new cases reported on the mountain. This seems to be slowing down, which is really good news. You can see, with the exception of maybe Crestline and Lake Arrowhead, we didn't have any double-digit growth over the last 3 days. So if you take this number and divide it by 3, we have about 30 new cases reported today on the average. We still have widespread risk using the state's 4-tier risk assessment or risk matrix, which is a 7-day average trailing 7 days. So these numbers are from 8 to 14 days ago. So like you see here, most of the mountain is under widespread risk, with the exceptions of Arrow Bear and Cedar Glen. Both have minimal risk. How does that look regionally? If you're in the Bear Valley area, about 4.25% of the total population of the full-time residents have tested positive for COVID-19, which puts you under a widespread risk. And in the rim communities, you're a little over 4.5% of total population testing positive. Our daily cases, as of today's numbers, out of 100,000 residents on the state's 4-tier risk matrix system, we are at a 62 on the mountaintop, which is about half of the rest of the county, which is 131, which is a lot higher than the rest of the state, which is at 80 cases per 100,000, which is higher than the rest of the country, which is 53 cases per 100,000. Where we would really like to be is below 7.0. Once we get 7.0, then we drop into our next risk tier, which is substantial. So that's where we are looking at today. We are about ready to launch our new website called the Mountain Dispatch, mountain-dispatch.com, where you'll see all of our breaking news, all of our articles and stories regarding public safety, anything to dealing with our fire departments and hospitals, and anything to do with sheriff, CHP, Caltrans, Edison, anything like that. We will have articles, safety articles up, and also all of our social media all in one place. So whether you like Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or Instagram or Periscope, all of that information is going to be on one place. That is www.mountain-dispatch.com. You guys have a great holiday today, and we will talk to you soon. Pay attention, and we will update any late breaking news.